Right. So, welcome everyone. You might have received the Zoom meeting detail from your friend or some WhatsApp group via. And today we are going to share a very brief or introduction kind of details on AWS Cloud, where anyone, let it be literally anyone, even who, any guy or any student who is just only 12th pass or any graduation, or any IT professional who has 5, 7 or 10 years of experience, anyone can be benefited from today's session. To make the session more interactive, I would request everyone that whenever you have any doubt, any question, then just throw in the chat box or raise your hand, and then we will take every question one by one, and we will answer a question. Today in this presentation, my one of very close friend and kind of a partner, Viren Patel, is also with us. So we both will help you on all your doubts, queries, and how to go ahead in your career by knowing or acquiring this cloud computing skill, and how much important it is right now for everyone to learn about the cloud computing, right? So let's begin. It doesn't matter that how much experience you carry in your profile right now. As of today, across the globe, the outside the pandemic issue, and due to the financial crisis across the globe in all different segments, every company and every person realize that if they have the internet connection and if they have some good skill, any IT skill, that can be a very beneficial to him or her. It doesn't mean that you have to be a software developer only. You could be any professional. You as a chartered accountant, I talked a guy last week who is developing a web-based product by using the cloud platform. He's a CA. So it doesn't mean that in which background you are, but it only means that where you want to go, how you want to make your career with today's upmost and I would say the high in demand technology, which will give you a super duper chance to highlight yourself in global IT market, not only constrained with India or not only constrained with any particular country, but you can highlight yourself globally. And I would like to share one statistics of one of the research institute, that due to this COVID-19 pandemic, 45+% of company has almost done a layoff of their staff. Those team member, those staff member who are not adding a new technical skills or new, not only technical, but they are not willing to add something new in their existing profile, they have literally sent them home. At the same time, the same research institute had also find out that now onwards, more than 48% of company across the globe are planning to outsource their work to another country or to another professionals who have the good technical skills, who have the good communication skill, who have the good working attitude. They will hire them. It doesn't matter from where they are working. So guys, these two statistics are literally eye-opening for each and every individual who want to make a bright career, because the outside situation can't stop you to working. If you have the laptop, if you have the desktop, and if you have the internet connectivity, that's it. You can work for any company from anywhere in the world. We can see my one of friend is living in Bangalore. He told me last week that right now many companies are working from villages because due to the some good internet connectivity via Jio and Airtel, they have the laptop, they have the electricity, they are working very nicely and very effectively from the villages. So this is really great opportunity for us to know something new about a cloud computing technology, which is going to change the world in the next decade. So again, I would request, welcome everyone. I would repeat the same sentence. It doesn't matter from which background you are coming. It only matters that what you really want to learn and why you want to learn this skill and where you want to go with your profile. Many times people ask us that what really I required to learn this AWS cloud or any cloud computing technology. We would always reply them, if you know the basic operating system, if you know the Linux operating system, if you know the Windows operating system, that is really sufficient to start learning. At the same time, if you know a basic fundamental of the networking, what is IP address, how internet works, what is DNS, that will give some more benefit to you to learn these skills quickly. The basic internet use, many times even fresher graduate who have spent 4 years in any discipline, they don't know how to check the IP address of the system. And that is a really bad because they only learn the theoretical part. They don't know how to find out the actual problem. So basic internet uses will definitely help you and you can learn these skills very fast. How to find some error on the internet. What are the different area where I can find the particular error very quickly to solve my existing issue. Those type of nature and those type of searching on internet, that skill will really help you. Apart from all of those things, the most important thing is your learning attitude. If you're ready to learn, if you're ready to spend your time, energy, then really you can gain these skills within a 2 to 3 months. We can give you that assurance. During this entire course, we have designed a course for anyone who want to start their career in AWS Cloud Computing. We will guide you. We will give you more information about in the next slides, in the next session. Before we proceed ahead, I would like to highlight one of the survey, and this survey was done by the Linux Foundation, a USA-based very big organization who is funding a whole lot of open source products and softwares across the globe. The professionals who are really working in the IT industry, they always love to use open source technologies. I will give you a very simple example. Right now, we all are connected with the Zoom. The Zoom technology, the Zoom cloud-based online webinar technology ultimately uses Linux and similar operating system underneath to run that platform. Can you believe that? It is a cloud-based product. It is a SaaS, I would say. And the highest demand of all experienced IT professional, they want to use open source technology. And among them, the cloud and container technology are very high in demand. AWS Cloud Computing uses Zen virtualization software. If anyone from you knows about the virtualization, what is type 1, type 2 virtualization technology, what is hypervisor, then I would give you example. Zen is the software behind majority of the all cloud provider. They use Zen, they pick up the Zen open source software, they configure it, they tweak it, they tune it, they modified it, the kernel, and they will use accordingly their requirement. Even the fact is that Microsoft has its own product, Azure, the cloud product, the public cloud. Azure runs underneath the Linux kernel. This is really fact. You can go and check it on the internet. I want to convey a point over here. The cloud technologies container, the Docker, is the one of the biggest software on the earth right now, who is used by all software developers and all infra guys to deploy their applications. And the Linux, the combination of the open source with Linux will give you a very good highlight in your profile wherever you go in international IT market. If you add these few things, open source software, in your resume, you will be good to go. Now, we all know that we are hearing cloud computing day by day in such a way from different colleagues, from different companies. Then actually, what does it mean? What is cloud computing? So I would like to give some example and a few eyes opening on that. That it is an on-demand delivery of IT resources. What does this mean? Let's assume tomorrow any IT company had released any software, a desktop based software or any open source software, and you want to test it as a hobby or as a new a feature. You want to test it out, and the doubt is that if you install it on your laptop or on your desktop, it might do something nasty operation, and you might have some security related issue or anything related that software. So you have some doubt. In that case, if you require a new hardware or if you require a new extra virtual machine, then you can use some software to create a virtual machine on your laptop, on your desktop, like VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, KVM, Zen, Parallels. So many things are Citrix, so many Hyper-V, so many options are there. But it requires some skill to configure and to create that virtual machine. But if you are aware about the cloud computing, then with internet connectivity on, after spending few click and few minutes on your web browser, you can create a new virtual machine and you can install that software on that virtual machine and you can test it. And the beauty of that, if you configure and if you use it for 5 hours, then you need to only pay for the 5 hours. You don't have to lock in for the entire month or entire year. Even you don't need to go outside and to purchase new hardware, right? So cloud computing in short is you can use any IT resources on demand via internet. It is very easy to achieve those resources. The beauty of that cloud computing is a pay-as-you-go model, like electricity bill and like gas bill, which we pay every month to some company. In here in Gujarat, we have the torrent power, which raise bill every month or every 2 months, and we pay only them accordingly our uses. Similarly, if we use any IT resources of any public cloud company, we have to pay for that only. We don't have to pay for entire month, or we don't have to pay for entire year. It is known as the pay-as-you-go pricing model. No monthly, no yearly charges. Even you are not bothered about the hardware, racking, stacking, configuring, cooling, security, networking, nothing. Everything goes in responsibility of the cloud provider. It is a Azure, it is a Google Cloud, it is a Microsoft Azure, whichever cloud platform you will use it, it depends, and the responsibility of that particular company to provide you everything. It is known as a shared responsibility model, where as a user, you have your own responsibilities, and as a vendor, they have their own responsibilities, which will be a kind of a mutual understanding with each other while using these resources. It is highly scalable. Let's again go back to that example where you are trying to export that new software, and you found that if I use this software and I might use this software for my production environment, but I have really doubt that when it grows up to 10,000 user, 20,000 user, will it really work very nice? In this case, if you are using the cloud platform and you have configured your infrastructure and application in a such a way that if some particular load will increase, some RAM uses increase, some CPU utilization increase, it will automatically grow like a rubber band. It is elasticity nature. where if user grows, then my entry infrastructure will automatically grow. When the load will reduce, the entire infrastructure will be shrink to the normal condition. Nowadays, this is very, very common use in major of IT web portals like Flipkart, like Amazon itself. They are using AWS in the background only. Uh, they launch some sale, a Black Friday, uh, and some kind of Christmas sale is nowadays very common, where they have the huge million of the user increase on that platform within a few hours. So they only use the cloud platform. So it is highly scalable. So these are the few characteristics of the cloud computing. Yes, as we see, you can test and you can create a new software if you have some good idea, like mobile application. You want to design some mobile application which is helpful to everyone, and you have a very simple and very nice idea of your mobile application. And as a software developer, if you have developed that idea, then you can go globally within a few hours. You don't have to wait for a month and weeks and have to do everything. No, you can go globally within a minutes or within a few hours. That is the really nice beauty of the cloud computing. So overall, the mixture of all these benefits, we can say that the cloud computing will really help you. Now, what is AWS Cloud? Uh, I would request Viren, if would you like to share some history or some background of AWS, how it comes into existence?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so just a second.
I will control the slides so you can easily move.
Uh, yeah. So the idea of the AWS cloud were born in year 2003 when the two employers, Chris Punkman and Benjamin Black, had present their paper in front of their board, and then that's where the idea of AWS, the cloud computing, comes into picture. Then after in they board agrees to that particular presentation, and they go ahead with their plan. In 2004, they deploy their first cloud computing service called Simple Queuing Service. Then after in 2006, they have they officially announced that particular service to and named that AWS or Amazon Web Services. And then year after year, the AWS grows or deploys services. Uh, uh, in 2007, they hired kind of 180,000 developers across the world, because nowadays, if you see the footprint of the AWS all over the globe, they have the massive infrastructures and data centers in probably 9 geographical areas. Uh, they have initially in 2008, they have the uh, companies like Airbnb and Dropbox started using AWS services. In 2010, they completely migrate their own platform, which we are, which is one of the largest online shopping platform, which is Amazon.com. They have completely migrate their own product or platform over the cloud service. In 2012, they have released their first gathering called Reinvent. Like nowadays, you all know that the Apple or the Google are gathering the annual meetups where they announce their new releases. Similarly, AWS is also doing kind of gathering where they introduce their new products, new services, new findings, which helps their customers to grow. In 2013, they also launched the certifications, which is very popular. Every company which is so much popular They also have their own certification. Through that certification, people are gaining their knowledge, and it's kind of showing the badge, or showing the skills to the world, that I have master, or I know the AWS very well. uh, After 2013, in 2014, they achieved the 100% renewable energy usage in the its global infrastructure, which is very nice. And then after year, they have doubled their total revenue of the company, till today even. In Currently, it's their reinvent week has had started yesterday, and they have announced a couple of services even today. In total, AWS has something around 150 distinct services in different areas, or you can say a different domain, where AWS is offering their expertise, or offering their solutions to the customers. So this is the kind of history of the AWS, how AWS grows over the years. It's been around 17 years since AWS started, and they are doing great job, as Ashish showed us, that the uh, AWS covers the uh, almost 50, or over the 50% of market share all over the globe. So yep, that's the history of the AWS. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Viren. So when I really, we don't know that how many guys are right now using AWS. We have the almost 8 participants over here, including apart from me and Viren. But me and Viren are using from the last few years, and we have the hands-on production environment experience. But I would say, if you have any question related with some more detail with your current domain, and how I can use it, AWS in that, and how I can explore it, then please feel free to ask in the next slides, or when we have the question and answer session. I would give you a quick overview that what are the main benefit over the traditional data center. If you guys know that initially we have to, uh, if we need some new hardware, we have to go to some data center provider like GoDaddy. Still they are doing some in-house data center operations, but majority of time we have to pay handsome amount of fees for entire year. Even if even if we use that hardware or not, it is our responsibility to pay them, which is not in the case of the cloud computing. Right now, as Viren mentioned, if you add AWS Cloud Computing in your profile, then you are immediately getting highlighted in the job market. And not only in the India, not only in the USA, you will be highlighted in the global IT job market. Guys, believe me, every day, every day I'm getting new requests on my LinkedIn, where many recruiters, many company CEOs, CTO are asking for the, are you available for the new job opportunity in the DevOps role, in the cloud support engineer. So please keep in mind that you are going to know, you are going to learn on adding something in your profile which is really high in demand. And as Viren mentioned, it is growing globally. It is not like that they have the only presence in the few. Yes, the main 9 countries are using AWS more, but as of today, they have the presence in 24 different geographic location. In the next upcoming slide, we will see it. Yes, this is a slide. You can see this is an overall global picture of the AWS and its presence. The blue dots are mentioning they are existing there. America, Europe, Africa, Middle East, India, Japan, China, Australia, everywhere, and Spain, Switzerland, Hyderabad. Baladi and his few of the colleagues are from like Malathi and Jayashree. I think they are from the Hyderabad. You guys, please start learning AWS, because AWS is coming into your city, and it is average. We have the statistics from the head office of the Amazon, from the Mumbai office. that if AWS is coming in any country or in any geographic location, the 30% of business increase automatically. So guys, you are in the Hyderabad. You have the golden opportunity in your hand. So just start learning AWS Cloud Computing. Even they are also planning to expand in the Japan. So it is growing everywhere. I want to like only convey that point. Now, ultimately, what is AWS Cloud? Again, we will see they are leader in the public domain. I will not take much more time over here. Let it be any startup company, let it be any IT, big IT organization, they all are using. Every day, new customers are exploring AWS. They create a free tier account and they use it for their own day-to-day applications. Here, this is a Gartner, one of the great research organization. They have the report in last August. According to that, still AWS Cloud Computing is a leader in the leader quadrant, putting Microsoft and Google a bit behind due to their R&D and innovation. Like Viren mentioned earlier, they are adding still new services every year, every month. They are very, very, very innovative. Now we will focus a few main services of AWS. So you guys can map with your existing, even as I think I'm not forgetting, like Dhwani, she is a fresher, and even she can map where I can use AWS, right? So many fresher student has this question: how AWS can be useful? You want to create a new machine, new virtual machine, like you are using Windows 10, but you want to try something on Ubuntu Linux. So with AWS, you can create new virtual machine. AWS give you facility 1 year free account, free tier account for entire year, where you have some limitations to use their resources, but yes, you can at least test all these services in that. So if you,
In Ashish, uh,
yeah, go ahead.
I need to add something in EC2.
Yeah.
So EC2 is till yesterday, the EC2 is only supports Linux and Windows operating systems. Yesterday they have announced that now they are supporting the Mac OS as well. So who are no the people who are interested in iOS development, and they don't have the machine and it in their home, the Mac machine, they can utilize the EC2 instance Mac operating system, with the Mac operating system, to explore the things in the iOS or mobile development. Yep.
You can think that which kind of innovation they are thinking or in which direction they are taking that industry, right? Thank you, Viren, for the input. Same like storage. This is the service which has changed the data backup, restore, and all different type of storage problem for object storage. It is gaining popularity day by day. You can save your a single photo, or you can save a very large your movie file or audio file or anything up to 5 terabyte. You can imagine, and it will be available globally anywhere, right? So mind-blowing services AWS provide. Private network, virtual private network. You have your own network which you can create. You can explore, you can configure it accordingly your requirement and use it. RDS, Viren is a very highly experienced in the RDS. I would like to say, Viren, would you please add 1 or 2 minutes on RDS? What is RDS?
Uh, yes. So AWS RDS is the world largest acceptable services in the industry. AWS is offering the 10 to 12 different database services to their customers, starting from Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Postgres, MariaDB. Even AWS developed their own database called Aurora, which is MySQL compatible as well as the Postgres compatible. Apart from these relational databases, my AWS offers the Elasticache, in-memory database, time stream database, quantum ledger database, the data warehouse which is called Redshift. Apart from this list, they are also in the document DB, the key store value, which is their own database, DynamoDB. So the pool of the database is very large, and almost uh, the RDS is the third largest popular services in the AWS. So it's really huge. Even someone who is interested in the database can specialization can get the specialization certificate they have recently announced in the February 2020. So yes, the RDS is very useful and the popular service of the AWS.
Correct. Great. And the beauty of RDS is that you do not need to worry about the underneath patches of operating system. It is seamless, simple. You have to concentrate on your database only. Just design, use it, and scale it according to your requirement. No need to worry about the OS patch, downtime. No, nothing. So really super feature. Thank you, Viren. CloudWatch, really, when you create your infrastructure, how to monitor, you can use it. CloudWatch, SNS, notification services, when one service call another, or if you want to notify someone by email, you can use this service. They are getting some more latency in some another different country, you can create the Cloudfront CDN kind of network. Lambda, this service has changed the entire IT industry. When I will give you only one example and we'll move ahead. Many of you or almost everyone has a use an Uber mobile application. And Uber is mainly designed and running with Lambda functions only. When you open the Uber application, Lambda function get triggered. When you select the location where you want to go, next Lambda function will trigger. When you receive the confirmation that this driver will arrive at your location by this time, when you accept that, again new Lambda function get triggers. When you choose that yes, I want to book this ride, again new Lambda function get triggered. It is a serverless kind of application. There is no server running behind the Lambda. It is a large pool of the compute power which is getting utilized by the Lambda functions, and you can design your mobile application according to your requirement. Lambda, it will do all the computation power, and what action, next action I have to take, that is also triggered and driven by the Lambda function. So you can imagine what a nice feature or service which can change the industry. Cognito, every mobile application, every web application, minimum requirement, the user registration, sign up, sign in, forget password. If I have the app login, can I use the same federation login ID? Use Cognito. Simple. Integrate with your application, boom, you are good to go. No right to every time sign in, sign up functionality in your applications. These services are changing the world right now. And if you don't learn these new skills, we'll be really a kind of behind in our IT profile. Autoscaling, as we see earlier, if you want to scale the IT infrastructure, it will go automatically and it will shrink automatically. These are the few main services by the AWS. Now today we want to give you some a bit more information about the Amazon S3 service. The reason is that you guys have spent some time and you have joined this webinar. So we feel that as a Feeltech solution, we always believe in the feeling, and we always feel that we will give something a good knowledge to our all attendees. So if you know AWS, if you know a very bit of AWS, if you have any account, then if you go and log in that, and you can use S3 service as your backup. Simple. So we will give you a very brief introduction about the S3 service, how it is getting used in industry, and what are the main popular use cases of it. It is known as a simple storage service. It is mainly object storage. The beauty of S3 is that it is highly available, it is a durable, and is a highly scalable at the same time. Let's say you and your few friend have some idea of mobile application. You design that mobile application, And to store some photo or audio clip like TikTok or any few other application, you are using S3. And you have configured S3 for that uses. At a time, if your user base grows from 1,000 to 5,000, 5,000 for 10,000, then your S3 will never give you an error. It is highly scalable. When you use it for 100 GB and you fetch some of the data, then whatever uses your entire application had made in that particular month, only that much charge will be paid by you to AWS. It is not like that you have consumed that 1 TB and you have to pay every time 1 TB fees. No, data transfer is chargeable, and it is also very minimal chargeable. So you can imagine there is no headache of the system administrator who is saying that, guys, you are consuming more storage, I need more hard disk, I need to make a backup. No, simple. Go use it, don't worry about the storage. Unlimited storage. It is a kind of unlimited storage. If you grow from 1 TB to 2 TB, 5 TB, 10 TB, no problem. I am there to handle your data storage problem. Again, yeah, if some medical company are doing a great research in some unique area, they have the very large file of the all data and all audio, video, different files. They use S3 as a storage. Some high resolution media file, a movie file or audio file or any animation file, you can use S3 as a storage. So guys, why we are highlighting the S3 service? Because it is a very good service. You can start it immediately and you don't have to pay for entire 1 year if you use it in their limitation. Please let us know if anyone has any query. We will definitely happy to help and happy to guide you guys. Even you have some static website, you can host it on the S3. Simple. If your website has a no dynamic part, no database, nothing, then you can host it on the S3 storage. Can you believe that? You don't have to go and purchase the hosting of GoDaddy and few other reseller club kind of companies. If you have a static website, go and use S3 for your hosting purpose. It is a really powerful backup and restore tool nowadays. I remember a few months back, Viren, I think last year, one of the manufacturing company had approached us where they have the in-house Linux server, and on that server they want to take some backup and they want to put it into S3 bucket. Right, Viren?
Yes. Yep. Correct.
And Viren had successfully configured and designed that architecture that every day or every whatever time frame they want to push the data, then that Linux machine will create a tar file and it will dump into the S3. Simple. And they have the requirement that if anything happens to their on-premises Linux server, it should not affect their production environment and they can easily fetch it from the S3. Quite possible. Simple. So there are n number of applications which we can design with the S3. Disaster recovery. When one of the companies operating in the Hyderabad and another branch, they have the branch in Bangalore and Chennai, they can simply use it as a DR. It will not affect your staff from one office to another office. Data analytics and big data. Now it is says that data is the next oil. And in that case, when you lose any a small piece of your data, it is a big challenge and big loss of your organization and yourself. In such case, we can use S3 as our long-term data storage solution. Hybrid cloud storage, it doesn't mean that if you have to stuck with AWS only. If you're going to use any other cloud provider or any other on-premises services and software, even you can integrate that with your S3. It is a really nice for media and application hosting and some of the software delivery repositories you can create. So these are the only few things which we have highlighted. Apart from this, there are so many benefit and use cases, but today we would like to highlight two main use cases which has changed and which has give a very drastic change in the cloud computing. We all know that Nasdaq is a US based trading company, and when they came across about the SC service few years back, I think almost in the 2000 nearby 2007, 8 or 9 time, when they have initially processing some of the record every day, because it is a financial trading company. They have the millions of the record every second, every minute happening when the live trading is happening, right? So for them, each and every record is very important to get it safe for few of the years as a financial compliances. And they have designed their infrastructure in such a way that from 30 billion record, they jump up to 70 billion records per day. Guys, you can imagine what a highly scalable database, what a highly scalable storage solution S3 has. Also, along with the S3, they are also using few other services, but the main part where the data and the transactions are saved is S3. Simple. Nelson, this is another research company, and they are very well doing research by their very strong team across the world, where they are using it for the data reporting, and they have configured S3 in such a way that initially they are doing 40,000 record for their household and a few other survey daily, then they jump into 30 million household per day. There is no match. It is really drastic use cases of S3 and a few of the other AWS services. Guys, I would say there are hell number of opportunities. You all are coming from the IT background. I have only make a one slide over here, which will give you, if you do a basic certification of AWS, which is starting from the AWS Cloud Practitioner, then you can see the Deloitte, the top 10 company in the IT where you can have opportunity to work remotely. You can work in any company. Every company every day is exploring few different cloud services, and AWS is number one across the globe from last consecutive 10 years. So you can imagine what is the importance of the AWS. Now, how I can start learning AWS cloud computing, and that's why we are here today. You are invited by someone into this webinar. So now we are opening this session for the question and answer. Please ask any dumb question, any small question, any big question with your existing, with your current job role. We are here to answer you, and we will try our level best to answer your questions. Thank you guys for listening us, and we can start our question and answer. Yes, please go ahead. You can raise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
please.
is Sridevi. I am a colleague of Bal Reddy. I'm in the US,
Okay.
Texas. So I am working as a QA analyst. So what is the scope of AWS for us in learning perspective?
Okay, so Sridevi, tell me one answer. As a QA analyst, many times you have to do the penetration testing and the load testing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might be aware about the Postman, or you might be about the Apache JMeter,
Okay.
kind of the tool which are helping you to do a load testing, right? API based API testing, or any few other application load testing. As a QA analyst, when you explore AWS and when you learn the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification, or if you only learn the Cloud Practitioner syllabus, you will come to know about the EC2, RDS, S3, and many major services. As a QA engineer, nowadays, majority of the all applications are developing using the cloud nature. When you
Okay.
know cloud, then you can design a better architecture for your testing environment. I'm really don't know what are your day-to-day activity, but if you share some activity, I can help you where you can use it and you can club it.
Ours is a financial company, so we'll be mostly working on the loan originations, payments, all those things.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. Right
so
now,
we'll be working on that.
as a QA analyst, let's say you have some test scenario,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where do you store your all results and all findings and use cases and test cases?
We are using Azure DevOps for the this and database anyway. We will be having we use Azure DevOps for most of the test plan, test cases, and everything.
Azure DevOps is a
And for
welcome, I would say. Which services you are using in Azure?
I don't know about that. Bala, do you have any idea?
Might be someone had designed that platform,
Mm.
and you are only using that platform. This
Correct.
this might be the scenario, which is I am assuming from
Right.
your answer. Now,
Correct.
the thing is that when I would say Azure is designed by the Microsoft, and
Correct.
even on Azure, the highest workload of the Linux operating system.
Oh.
And on AWS, the highest the EC2 instance which are used and created by the all different organization are majority of the Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very, I want to highlight only one point, that if you know the Linux, do you have the background of the Linux operating system?
Yeah, I have some background. Previous projects I worked on Linux.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Basic.
Linux is the base operating system everywhere, for any, from supercomputer to your smartphone. Let
Okay.
it be anything, or let it be any cloud platform.
Okay.
Have you heard about the IBM Watson?
No.
IBM,
Yeah.
IBM Watson is a super duper software for supercomputer for predictive analysis and so many things it can do. It uses
Oh.
Linux only. And now I want to convey that as a QA analyst or as a QA analyst, or let it be any professional, when you know the some technical part, then you will come to know that how I can use S3 here for my better day-to-day operations, or where I will use my EC2 instance or RDS services for better purpose. And you
Okay.
can design your own new environment to make some new automation stuff, which is very easy.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So it could be any n number of possibilities are there where you can use it. But
I would like to add more in your answer, Ashish.
Yeah, please go ahead.
For testing, even you can use Lambda. The few slides before we have shown you that the Lambda is one of the popular service in the AWS. You can deploy or write some test cases in your Lambda, because Lambda is supporting the multiple scripting languages like the JavaScript, Python, and etc., etc., etc. So you can basically write the code of the your testing use case and put it into the Lambda, and then you can trigger the Lambda functions to do the testing automation for whatever the task or whatever the testing use cases you want to do. So
Okay.
this way, the AWS services can help you in the testing environment to test multiple use cases at once and save your time. So this way, you can use the or utilize the AWS services.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like any other question or any other doubt? You want to know anything?
So if the classes starts, the timings and all, do you have any idea about the timings and the course duration and all those details?
So what we generally do, we majority of the time we matches students timing, as right now we have one batch for US student. Mostly we started at 8:30 p.m. on Monday and Thursday.
8:30 p.m. means our time 8:30.
Your time is 10 a.m. US time 10 a.m. But majority
Morning 8. Oh, morning 10 o'clock. Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And some of the students are learning in India. They have the evening time 5 p.m. But we can design a weekend batch, or we can design accordingly availability, because we have the flexibility and we can design that accordingly.
Okay.
Malathi, you have any question, or did you get some good insight today?
Yeah, Ashish, actually I have a few doubts. I heard no, we have to learn DevOps as well when we completed after AWS. Is that mandatory to learn DevOps?
See, people are confusing here, and they make a wrong decision. Ultimately, DevOps is not any kind of tool or technology. It is a just a minute. It is a combination of a methodology where you will use some tools and technique to create any production environment, testing environment, or pre-production environment. Simple. DevOps means your development and operations team will work together. Let me give a very small example. You are doing job in some company and you are into, let's say, testing, or you are in the software development. Now you develop some code. Now that code must be tested by the testing team. So they have some test cases written, and you have some unit testing written as a developer. You pass that code, and you have done the unit testing. It is working perfectly fine. But now the QA guy who have created some local environment or some cloud-based environment. He has created EC2 instance in Windows or Linux, and he dump your software code in that, and it is breaking somewhere. Now, these when this problem happens, at the same time, you and the QA guy or the testing guy have to work together to solve this issue and to find out that is it really problem, or it is some environmental issue, or it is a configuration issue, which will not happen at the client end or not happen in the production environment. So when these two teams will work together to achieve a last goal, it is known as a DevOps. But people are only focusing on the Linux, cloud computing, Git, Jenkins, Bitbucket, and some few other tools, and they only learn about these tools only. They don't know, they are not focusing on the what is underneath conceptual, which is highly required in the DevOps. But yes, it is very true that if you have a good knowledge of Linux operating system, if you have some good knowledge about the AWS cloud or any other cloud platform, and if you know a few, a Docker or Git, at least these two tools, Git and Docker, will help you to work in any DevOps environment. And again, I will repeat one thing, that DevOps is not a kind of a single job or single role. It includes hell lot of uh, 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 task, and I would say lots of stuff inside in that. Recently, I and Viren was talking for one of the European customer, where he required our service for application support, live application support, and is one of the very big pharmaceutical company in the Europe. They have the 24 by 7 running support environment, where they demand everything. You should know about the networking, you should know about the Linux, you should know about the Kubernetes, you should know about the cloud, Linux, database, application development. 9 to 10 different things can't be done by a single person as a DevOps engineer. So please, I will request you to do not get in this trap of DevOps. What you should focus instead, first of all, check out what is my current profile. And the DevOps profile requires these few things in your resume. If you're a developer, then you should more focus about the Git and the CI/CD pipeline and the Docker part. How I can make my application in a containerization form. You should focus over there. If you're from the testing background, then you should focus on the Linux operating system, cloud fundamentals, and Git and Docker. You're from the networking background, you're from the system administration background, you should more focus about the in-depth knowledge about the Linux operating system and cloud, where you can create a multiple environment for your testing environment, pre-production and production environment. So in these all are DevOps role. Nowadays, another new terminology, site reliability engineer. In SRE role, they ask for infrastructure as automation like Terraform and few other tools, but they do not check the basic fundamental of the DevOps tools and technique. But guys, believe me, if you have the good knowledge of Linux operating system, if you have the knowledge of AWS, at least cloud practitioner good knowledge, don't focus on any certification, just focus on the skill. If you're coming from the development testing environment, then you should know about the Git and the Docker. This fourth thing is really good to highlight in your resume, where you can say that yes, I know the DevOps. When we conduct our training with AWS Cloud Practitioner, we cover all these four things mandatory, compulsory, and we teach all these four things on very basic to intermediate level. And the beauty of that is that even if you know the basic things thoroughly, any interviewer person will find out that you have the good understanding of the technology, how, and you will know how to use it in any scenario. Let it be your SRE, let it be for your CI/CD pipeline, or let it be for any other production or testing environment to be created. Right? So I would say, Sridevi, do not just focus on the DevOps term, just focus that what skills you have right now and what you want to add really. Or better, if you give me some scenario, I can tell you that it is really into fit it into perfect DevOps, or it is a more into infrastructure side, or more into the development side.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. And one more doubt is like, will you teach CloudFormation templates also? So we can write that, right? For creating infrastructure in AWS.
Very,
CloudFormation templates.
very good question. Viren, would you like to add something on the CloudFormation? Because he had Viren had created so many and yes, we do
Yes,
some CloudFormation.
yes, we do.
Also. Yeah.
Yes, but it's not included in the this basic certification. We are not teaching it separately.
And why it is not included in the cloud practitioner? Because nowadays what AWS mean that they added more into the developer certification, associate developer certification. But yes, we can give you one guarantee that we will cover the CloudFormation's fundamental, where you will write your own template. Via that template, you will create a new VPC, you will deploy a new EC2 instance in that, you will create a new S3 bucket, everything you will do from your CloudFormation template. Later on, we will guide you that with the same thing, you can create any multiple environment. But yes, basic we will definitely cover. And that is not only theory part, hands-on. When you will write your own template and you will deploy that environment in your AWS account.
Yeah, thanks, Ashish.
Yeah. Thank you, Malti. Yes. There are a few other guys, Sahnawaz, Virendra, Jay, Dhwani, Darshan. Guys, if you, we hope that this is a kind of a bit helpful to you. And please feel free to ask any question if someone has typed in the chat box. I had not checked it. Let me have. No. Any other question? Any other input? Any suggestions? Please let us know. We are here to still improve on our presentation side. And if you're interested to start learning AWS, please feel free to contact us. These are our email address or contact phone number. Sorry, someone says something. Okay, so if no one has any question, then we will end this session over here. Thank you very much.
And also, I have one more question. Do you give any recordings for the classes?
We do not record, but if you require, we will do a record of our Zoom meeting so that you can use it later on for your purpose.
Yeah, because we may forget, right? So to practice, so yeah, that because in the work we are doing work, and again this one, so we may forget after some time.
But
So
see,
that's
I would like to add one thing here. We always believe in hands-on, and we have some
okay.
technique. We have some methodology in which way we teach. We always start with the hands-on. Theory part will be covered via PPT, and that will be when some more service we will start, and then mostly you have to make your hands dirty with the AWS console and the Linux command line, and that is sufficient, because that will give you more
And
confidence and you will remember the things for a longer period of the time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Viren, you were about to say something?
No, I was saying that we will also share the PDF kind of thing. So whatever the theory part we are teaching, we will cover into the PDF. So you will have that PDF forever with you. So you can refer it later on.
Okay.
And guys, believe us, believe me that we are not a kind of that like training institute who would like to train and finish our class in some time. No, I will give you one example. Even that is from the guy who is from the Hyderabad, but right now living in the London. He is doing job in some food factory. And in this year, in February, he had started learning AWS and basic Linux from us. Within a 3 month, we have completed the syllabus, or almost 3.5 months. But due to this COVID-19 pandemic, he was preparing himself and he has to work very few days due to this COVID-19 issue. He had prepared himself. He was not from IT background. He was from another science background. In past, he had done some. He has done some course in Hyderabad for the database related, but he was not again certified with that technology. Then he left the IT. But when he reached to London, he found out that I need to learn IT. Then only I will survive here. Within a 3.5 months, we have finished the syllabus. We have guided him how to prepare for the certification. If you really want to go for the AWS Cloud Practitioner, he prepared 2 months rigorously. Accordingly, our suggestion, accordingly, our every weekend communication. Now, he is certified AWS Cloud Practitioner. And when he received the result, he immediately called me and told me that, Ashish, this is my first certification as a non-IT professional, and my parents are very happy. And I replied only one thing, that, dear, this is only your effort and your preparation. We have only done one thing, that we have provided you the right guidance, how to prepare and what to prepare. We are not kind of that we will teach this syllabus in a 8 session and 10 session and 15 session. You can ask us things, because we believe that if you learn something better, you will going to definitely tell 2 more people. And this is, we are not kind of a professional IT training institute. We are doing this with different mindset. Field technology, you can see our name is only Feeltech. In technology nowadays, people are really missing the feeling part, and all are running in some rat race. We are doing something different from that rat race. So guys, believe we are going to train in something different manner, where you will learn, and you will learn by doing hands-on, and you will remember it for the longer period of the time. Yes. Okay. Any other question? Okay, guys, then thank you very much. Thanks for your time for attending this session. And